Fantastic. Zoran Mamdani is an incredible talent. He is going to be a great mayor for New York City. I was proud to endorse him before the primary, and he is so smart, so authentic, cares so much about working people, and has put together an incredible coalition. We're thrilled.
What do you think? Bringing the party together.
Look, he's bringing anybody who can see the reality of the success of his candidacy and his campaign together. Anybody that's staying out at this point instead of endorsing this incredible dynamic leader is missing an opportunity.
Do you think he won over supporting out there of the new members who were supporting him or on the fence?
Sorry, what was
Do you think he won over any members?
Oh, I think it's hard not to be won over because it's the combination of his authenticity, his smarts, and his commitment to lifting up working people and making life better for real folks that is really inspiring and not always easy to find, you know, and so I hope so. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Excuse me.
How was the meeting?
Oh, it was great. He shared a lot of tips and tricks of getting your message out via social media. It was a great learning experience for me as a new member of Congress.
It seemed like Democrats were finally rallying their entirety. Did he have to sway any members, or was everyone pretty much unison?
We were just learning skills from him, communication skills. It was not about whether we're supporting him or not.
Are you talking about any policies specifically?
He talked about, freezing rent, faster buses in New York City, and universal child care, which seems to be the message that really resonated with New York City voters.
How do you pay for that?
No.
He didn't talk about that. It was just more how he was getting that message out, because that's what New Yorkers want.
Do you think it was a need for government groceries? Can you try to pitch that?
No, he did not talk about
What
that.
do you think about it?
I'm not sure how that would work. I haven't really looked at how that would work.
And how about in cooperation with Do you agree with that?
Of course. I'm a member from Los Angeles. We're going through massive ice raids that are creating fear in my community. I represent Mexican immigrants and Central American immigrants. I'm the child of immigrants. And so what ICE is doing right now is horrible to our communities, to our economy, really disrupting Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles. Thank you. I have to go. Thanks.
Talk to the cameras, okay. I'm Congressman Mark Takano. I'm the ranking Democratic member on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I'm also chair of the Congressional Equality Caucus, among other things. I was very eager to meet Assemblyman Mamdani. I started to get into my social media feed a lot of the videos around the time of the election in New York and post-election. And one of the videos that made a huge impact on me, which I thought was brilliant, was the halal inflation video, where Zoran Mandani, talks to a halal, a falafel stand, and about how much this falafel stand operator has to pay to the city of New York for a permit, $17,000 a year. And he asked him how much he would charge if he didn't have to do that. His falafel is $10, and that he would charge $8 a falafel if he didn't have to pay, not the city actually, it is some operator, somebody who holds the permit. And we learned from this interview that Mandani does with this guy is that he's not actually paying the city. He's actually been waiting in line. He's like 32,000th in line to get a permit. And the overall impression on me was, this guy is not a communist. He's not a socialist. He's an advocate for small C capitalism, and that he really is fighting for the little business guy that's trying to eke out a living in New York. Half of all New Yorkers, get their jobs from small business. And I thought that was a tremendous message. I have a lot of small business people just like that, immigrant business people trying to make a living in my own district. And I thought it was such an aspirational video. It was very inspiring.
Do you think he made any inroads with people that might not be completely on board with him yet within that group?
I came toward the end. I had a conflicting meeting. I'm with the leadership meeting, and it conflicted with this meeting. So I got the last question in. There were a lot of other senior members of Congress in that room who I think are very curious about him. I think they've seen a lot of his social media and think it is really quite penetrating and brilliant. So,
What do you think are some of his weaknesses to winning, and what advice would you give?
I had some questions, about, association with democratic socialism. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez explained to me the generational divide over this, that people under 40 have experienced watching Barack Obama, it was the first person they voted for, be attacked for being a foreigner, from Africa, not a citizen. I mean, these are all false charges, and attacked as a socialist. And they grew up thinking that this is all baseless and unfair. And so the people over 40, like me, I'll admit to being over 40, that socialism is different. The word has a different charge. The critique of Stalin or even Castro, that's maybe a kind of debate that we're going to see raised by people maybe over 40 that are going to have a problem with that word. But that he's another kind of socialist, that he's fighting for small business people, trying to bring down stupid regulations, criticizing Eric Adams for not moving permits faster, forcing, it's corruption we're fighting here. Corruption, the corruption that prevents the dynamism of small C entrepreneurs, small C capitalist entrepreneurs. No contradiction there. Trying to get buses to run more efficiently and faster. These are all things that are improving people's lives. And I think, Alexandra explained to me that generationally younger voters who are coming into, they are already the majority of voters out there, doesn't have the same charge, and it doesn't indicate. It's a bogeyman sort of fear that's being put on by older people.
What about his views when it comes to the government-run grocery stores? Do you think that's a good idea? And how would that
you can question my friend Shelley Pingree. I don't let her speak for herself, but she's the ranking member, former chair of the Appropriations Committee that deals with ag. There's not a lot of difference between the idea of some sort of public-run grocery and a co-op. In the state of Maine, there's a lot of co-ops that come together, nonprofit co-ops to bring down the cost of groceries. So there's other ways to think about this concept of how do you bring down the cost of groceries, and to what extent is the market in New York kind of dominated and how you say, overly consolidated in some ways. And those are legitimate questions to have, and I think he's injecting some idea about. So it's really, I go to some parts in Europe, and I'm amazed even how in Paris the cost of food is pretty reasonable. We should be asking ourselves, why is that? How is it that we can? And look, if we look at a larger picture, so it's bigger than New York, because he's not dealing with the bigger picture. But just how there's a few really meat processing plants in our country, meat processing companies, how concentrated that market is, and how much of this might be really the failure of our government to do the antitrust activities we should be doing in order to make sure that price gouging isn't occurring, and that there is price inflation because we're not doing enough to make sure that there's enough competition out there in terms of the food supply chain. So that's a higher level federal issue. He's trying to deal with this issue at a very local level, and it's a legitimate one.
People think of New York City as Democrat-run for many years. Why would going further left resolve these issues of the cost of living? The most expensive areas in the country tend to be Democrat-run.
Well, I don't know that left or right. I mean, you're the one imposing the left or right by the premise of your question. What I see is someone addressing cost of living issues, and I think if you were to run these Zoran Mamdani commercials blind in front of self-identified conservatives, part of the MAGA base, I think they would find Mandani very, very appealing from what he's saying in his commercials. So without the left-right imposition by the question you've asked, I looked at that halal inflation commercial. I thought a MAGA viewer would look at that and go, "Hey, cut out this holder of the license, some guy, and make the government work more efficiently so that we license all these people." Or the whole medallion. I mean, Mandani kind of got some street cred with the taxi drivers over Bloomberg over the taxi medallions. I think these are fairly these are issues that much of the MAGA base would agree with.
You're saying you think some of his ideas aren't necessarily left-right, but like a populism.
I even think populism has a kind of, to some people, a pejorative point of view. I think he's taking on cost of living issues head on, and I think if you look past all of the labels people are trying to impose on him, I think that's what's refreshing about him and his direct messaging. I want to lower costs for New Yorkers, and I think Democrats need to be talking about how we're going to lower costs, but we really mean it. That what's been happening with Donald Trump is a lot of fakery. He came in saying he was going to pay attention to the cost of living, but his policies, his irrational tariffs, his spontaneous tariffs, we just saw a 2.7% inflation increase over the past couple of days, and he's going to want to blame that on someone else like Chairman Powell of the Fed, for not lowering interest rates. But how can he lower interest rates when the Fed's job is to watch inflation? And under Donald Trump's policies, inflation goes up. So a lot of talk and a lot of fakery, but I think Mamdani has got a platform that I think he can deliver on.
How many people were in there?
When I arrived, there were like I'd say 20, 25, and I think people trickled out as before I rolled. I think this thing started at 8, and I was very happy to be able to make it. So anyway. Hey, it was great to talk to you, and it was very exciting meeting, I think, the next mayor of New York. Thanks.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.